Hey everybody, welcome back. We're diving into some fascinating ancient wisdom today. We're going to be looking at the book of Deuteronomy,
Okay.
specifically chapter 17.
Sounds good.
Um, and you might be surprised at just how relevant this is going to feel, even though this was written thousands of years ago.
Thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
It's true. These laws offer some really timeless insights. They cover everything from the right way to worship
Right.
to choosing a king and even how to keep that king in check.
It's true. It's like a crash course in ancient civics.
It is.
But I gotta say, one of the things that really stood out to me
Okay.
was this whole thing about sacrifices having to be blemish-free.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
That's so fascinating, isn't it? It really suggests that this was a culture that was super focused on quality,
Yeah.
on intention, even in their offerings to God.
Right.
And it makes you wonder, does this concept of blemish-free translate to a modern context? What would that even look like?
It's a really good question. I was thinking about it in terms of our own work,
Yeah.
and our commitments.
Yeah.
Are we bringing our best to the table?
Yeah, are we just settling for good enough?
Right.
But Deuteronomy 17 doesn't stop there.
Okay.
It tackles some serious offenses like idolatry,
Right.
and it lays out a very specific punishment. Stoning.
Stoning.
Yeah.
Wow, that definitely feels harsh to our modern sensibilities.
It does. But even in this seemingly severe system,
Okay.
there's a glimmer of a principle we value today,
Uh,
due process. The text emphasizes the need for multiple witnesses
Right.
to establish the facts of the case before any punishment is carried out. It wasn't a matter of just
right.
pointing a finger and casting stones.
So even in ancient times, they understood the importance of evidence and fairness
Yes.
in legal proceedings.
Exactly. And this concern for justice isn't limited to just idolatry. Deuteronomy 17 goes on to outline a whole system for resolving disputes, even complex ones. So if a local court couldn't handle a case, it would be brought before the priests in a higher court,
Okay.
and their decisions were final.
Wow.
They were considered to be in line with divine authority.
Wow, so they had like a Supreme Court.
Yeah, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they had a pretty sophisticated legal system for their time.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing that really caught my eye was the part about choosing a king.
Okay.
Like they had actual rules in place to prevent their kings from
Oh, yeah.
abusing their power.
Right. It's amazing how they were already thinking about the dangers of corruption thousands of years ago.
Thousands of years ago.
The text is very clear.
Okay.
No hoarding wealth.
Right.
No amassing a huge harem of wives.
Wow.
They understood the importance of keeping those impulses in check.
It's almost like a blueprint for ethical leadership.
Absolutely. And there's one more rule that really jumps out at me.
Good.
The king had to personally write out a copy of the law
Wow.
and study it every single day.
Every single day.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Imagine a king being required to study and reflect on the law,
Right.
like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like such a powerful safeguard against becoming
Totally.
too detached,
Yeah. Yeah, or too big for their britches.
from the needs of the people.
It's a really powerful reminder that even the most powerful individuals are not above the law,
Yeah.
and they should constantly be striving to learn and grow.
Wow.
So you see, these ancient laws may seem archaic at first glance,
Yeah.
but they contain some really timeless wisdom
Absolutely.
that resonates even today.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
It makes me think about all the ways these ideas could apply to our modern lives.
Okay, yeah.
Like, for example, that concept of blemish-free sacrifices. Does that resonate with you at all?
It totally does. I think it goes beyond just the literal sacrifices.
Okay.
It speaks to the level of dedication and intention we bring to every area of our lives, like
Right.
our work, our relationships, our personal pursuits. Are we striving for excellence?
Yeah, are we just phoning it in?
Are we putting in the effort to become the best versions of ourselves?
That reminds me of this time I was trying to learn a new skill.
Okay.
And I was kind of dabbling for a while, never really committing.
Yeah.
And my progress was so slow.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I truly dedicated myself to the process and gave it my all that I started to see real improvement. It seems like that blemish-free idea applied to my efforts made all the difference.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
It highlights the timeless nature of these principles.
Yeah.
It's not about the specific act,
Right.
but the spirit behind it.
Yeah, it also makes me think about the importance of due process
Uh-huh.
and fairness. not only in our legal system, but in all our interactions with others.
Absolutely. That principle from Deuteronomy,
Right.
need for multiple witnesses and solid evidence before making accusations,
Yeah,
it's reflected in our modern justice system.
that's
We
true.
have safeguards in place, like the burden of proof
Right.
beyond a reasonable doubt,
Right.
to ensure that individuals are protected from false accusations.
It's a reminder that even when dealing with wrongdoing,
Yeah.
we need to uphold justice and fairness.
Totally.
And what about those rules for kings? It seems like they were really onto something
Yeah.
with the idea of ethical leadership.
It's so fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those restrictions on wealth and multiple wives,
Uh-huh.
they really speak to the dangers of unchecked power
Totally.
and the importance of leaders prioritizing the needs of their people over personal gain.
It makes you wonder how different our world would be if all leaders,
Right.
from politicians to CEOs,
Yeah.
adhered to those principles.
Totally.
We see examples of both.
We do.
Leaders who exemplify humility and service,
Right.
and those who unfortunately prioritize personal gain over the common good.
It's true.
And lastly, that rule about the kings studying the law every day.
Yeah.
That's a powerful message for all of us,
It
regardless of our position or profession.
Absolutely, especially in today's world,
Right.
where information is constantly changing
Mm-hmm.
and there's always something new to learn.
It's a reminder to never stop learning, never stop growing,
Right.
never stop questioning our assumptions.
Love it.
What do you think is the most important takeaway for our listeners?
I think the key takeaway here is that even these ancient laws, written for a totally different time and place,
Yeah.
they can still offer surprisingly relevant insights for us today.
Right.
Deuteronomy 17 reminds us to strive for excellence in everything we do,
Right.
to uphold fairness and justice in our interactions with others,
Yeah.
and to embrace lifelong learning as an essential part of growth.
It's amazing how these ancient texts can still speak to us across millennia.
I know, it's incredible.
And, if even kings were expected to study and learn every day,
Right.
what does that mean for us
Yeah.
in today's fast-paced world? It really makes you think.
It's a powerful challenge to consider how we're prioritizing learning and self-reflection amidst all the demands of modern life.
That's it for today's deep dive into the ancient wisdom of Deuteronomy 17.
Thanks for having me.
We hope this exploration has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to see the connections between these ancient ideas and your own life.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep diving deep.